Hello. The weather's absolutely terrible today. I think we got some kind of storm going through, so I can't get out in my camera, so I'm absolutely gutted. So what I thought I'd do is to share some editing tips with you. Now, some of these you might already know, but I stumbled across a couple of these this week, and I've found them quite useful. So I thought I'd just spread the news just in case you don't know about them. So I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. I don't normally do these tutorials, so I'm not that good at it. So just bear with me, and I'll do it as quick as I can. So one thing I find difficult sometimes is getting the colours right and the tones and the curves and all that from the raw file to kind of give me the starting block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some tips that I've found over the last week. So this is the image I'm going to use. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it. So if I crop it down roughly to where I want it, something like that, I'll do. And then I'm going to just make a few basic adjustments. I'll just bring the exposure up a little bit, the shadows, and I'll just leave it at that for now. Now I'm going to right click on the mouse and edit in and open as a smart object in Photoshop. Right, when that opens up in Photoshop, you'll see the icon in the corner and you'll see that it's got like another icon within the photo. That means it's a smart image. So if I left click on that twice, it will open it up into Camera Raw. Now what you need to do, if you haven't already done it, is go up to the top corner and click on the Open Preferences cog and click on Technology Previews, and then ensure that you've got your new AI features and settings panel ticked, and then click OK. If you have only just clicked it as I'm talking you through this, you'll need to close Photoshop and Lightroom down and reopen them back up. So when you get back to this stage again, once you've enabled the AI features, when you go to the top in Profile and you use the pull down box, you'll see a new feature called Adobe Adaptive. Now if you click on that, what it does is it tries to put the colours right, what it thinks is the best setting. Now it doesn't always get it bang on, and you may still need to tweak it, but you won't need to tweak it as much. So straight away I can see that that's too bright. So if I just bring down the exposure to about that, and then toggle on what it was like before, you can see it's kind of done the heavy lifting for me. It's made a decent job. So another thing that is enabled with the new AI features is if you scroll down to denoise, you can do the denoise in Camera Raw. Now it's actually better to do it in the Camera Raw. The reason being is when you click the denoise, it does the denoise as it would in Lightroom and Photoshop normally, but there's a few things you can do after. So I'll let this run through and then I'll tell you what they are. Okay, so that's gone through the denoise now. And what you can do is you can alter the amount of noise that you want to remove while using the slider, or you can do less, obviously. And you can also increase sharpening if you want to, which I think is great, because in other programs such as Topaz Denoise, DxO, and even using the denoise program in Lightroom and Photoshop, once you've set the denoise to run, whatever it comes out with, that's your final product. So if you've overcooked it and put too much denoise in and it softens your image, you have to kind of start again. With this, you can adjust it after, which is really good. Now the thing that this also shows, if you go to the top left hand corner, it will say update settings. That's because what it's done is the denoise program has altered the color settings from the profile, so it changes them both, so it always keeps everything up to date. So that's all done now. So if I click OK, and then I'll flatten that image and save it, go back to Lightroom and compare the two, you can see the difference. So if I zoom in, you can see that it's sharper. As I said, it won't complete your editing process just by using those steps, but it gives you a starting block, which is, in my opinion, quick, and it works really well. So then you can just go in and obviously do any final changes you need to do, any kind of tweaks just to finish it off. But yeah, that's that method. Now I've got a couple more to show you. So if I go back to the raw file and I'll reset, well actually there's no need to reset everything, I'll just keep it the way it is. And this time I will right click, editing, and just edit in Photoshop. Again, that opens up in Photoshop. Now I'm going to duplicate the layer so I've got something to compare it with, and this time I'm going to show you a little tip with the curves. So if you go down to the bottom, there's a little circle. If you click on the little circle and then click on curves, now you can go in and automatically ask Photoshop to do an automatic curve adjustment, which I don't normally do because half the time it doesn't come out very good. So if I delete that, what I'll do now is I'll hold down the Alt button and then press Auto, and it will give me a little pop-up box and gives me 4 options, and each one of these will give me 4 different settings for the curves. These are a lot better than just using the Auto button, so I can pick which one I want. I'll just go for that one for now, just to show you. And what you can do is you also can snap the neutral midtones. By clicking that, most of the time it removes any colour cast you've got. So if you've got like a blue colour cast across the bird or a green one, it removes that. It works really well in landscape photos. So once you've kind of decided on which one you want, you can click OK. Now that's applied to a mask. So white reveals, black conceals. So let's just say, for instance, I want the original blue sky in the background. So all I can do is I can get a brush and change the colour to black, and then I can just paint in, because it's a mask, I can paint the blue back in. I'm just going to do this really quick just to give you an idea, but you can obviously mask the bird out and make a better job of it, but I'm just going to quickly just put the sky back in just to show you. I don't want to go over the bird too much. Something like that'll do for now. Like I said, I'm just showing you what it comes out like. And then I can save that. Again, that opens back up in Lightroom, and I can compare that to the before and after. And you can see the bird pops a bit more, it's got a bit more definition, and it's a good starting block. So if I just bring up the shadows a little bit more, maybe bring down the highlights and the vibrance, you can see it's a good starting block. So the last little tip I wanted to show was, again, go back to the raw file, make a few little adjustments, and I want to keep this image pretty flat because I want to show you what the other little process does. So let's just say you've got an image and you've edited it, a few little tweaks to it to start it off, and you think, you know what, I like it but it looks flat. Rather than just boost up the vibrance or anything like that, right click on it, edit in, editing Photoshop. Once that's opened up in Photoshop, I'll create another layer. I'll duplicate the background image, sorry, and then go back to the curves. So if I go to the curves now and I want to do the curves on my own, you'll notice on the histogram there's like a gap between the far right side and the far left side, which basically means by using these sliders I've got room to increase the whites before it starts blowing out. So I can move the bottom sliders over to the start of the histogram and again on the blacks, which will give the image a bit more of a pop. So if I turn that off and on, you can see it's kind of unflattened the colours. So I'll save that and just compare the two. You can see the one's flatter and the other one's got a bit more of a punch, and then just increase the vibrance maybe a little bit, or the colours, whatever you want. But it's kind of stabilised the histogram a little bit more. I know it's not all in the middle, but it gives you a good starting block. So that's it. That's my 3 little quick tips. I hope they've been some help. So that's it. As I said, it's only a quick kind of little pass on a few tips really. I'm not very good at this kind of these kind of tutorials online on how to use Photoshop, but I just wanted to pass the information on. I hope it's been a bit of help, and you might have found a few little techniques that you didn't use, or now you know how to use them a little bit better. I will try and do a few more of these kind of tutorials if you want me to. The next one I've kind of got in mind is sharpening, different ways of sharpening your image. Personally, I don't like sharpening too much. I used to sharpen everything, but now I've kind of moved towards the softer kind of feel. But I will show you some sharpening techniques and how to correct some errors that are caused by them. So I'll do that in my next video. So, hope it's been a bit of help, and leave me a comment what you thought of the video. Did you learn anything? Was it beneficial? Am I wasting my time? Did you already know them? Just leave me a comment in the description. I thought it'd be a change. So, until next time, thanks for watching.